Good evening from Nicosia in Cyprus. Today was a day on the road, you could say, literally, because I was riding my bike through a lot of Nicosia today. It was a especially cool day, only like 34 degrees, I think, Celsius, and there was wind the whole day, so it was ideal for cycling, really, and I enjoyed it. It's a nice bike, my pink bike. In the morning I went to university, European University, and I had coffee with Potheini, who is looking after me here a bit. And I asked her if she knew any Turkish Cypriot people I could meet, because so far I've been talking to a lot of Greek Cypriot people, and I've met two Turkish guys who are, one of them is living in the north and teaching at university there, so I got in touch with them, but they are not Turkish Cypriot. Like, I became aware of that there is actually a really specific identity to the island people, to the Cypriot people, you know, even if they are coming from different, from the Turkish, like from the Ottoman culture, let's say, and the others, the Greeks are Europeans, but they are not Greek and they are not Turkish. There is something really specific, of course. But it's something I might have known before, but now I can kind of like see it as well. Yeah, and Potheini said something really interesting with regards to the other and the subjectivity, because I told her about what I was reading and what was like going on in my mind, basically. And I told her about this thing that you can only be a subject, like subjective, in relation to others. So, like, I told her about this definition of a community through subjectiveness and being different from each other. And she said something really interesting. She said that like during the war, the 3-day war in 1974, when the split happened, that's when actually the other was created, you know, which then persisted for so many years, for 30 or 40 years, or is still persisting, you know. So this is like kind of the counterpart to what we saw, or what I lived through with the woman from Larnaca, who saw a Turkish Cypriot woman for the first time and then became aware that it's just a human being, blah, blah, blah. And so this thing, which happened 40 years ago in the war, more than 40 years ago, the creating the other, I found it really interesting, to put it that way. It had never occurred to me. Then in the afternoon, I cycled to the Urban Gorillas office again. You remember these group of architects who are very engaged in conserving heritage from Kaymakli, which is one of the oldest areas in Nicosia. And I met the creative director, Veronica, and it was a really, really inspiring exchange and discussion. And I told her about my performance, which will be next week on Friday. And I told her that I want to walk with these loudspeakers. They look like that, actually. I don't know if you remember them from London, some of you maybe from the performance. So there's about 15 to 20 modules like that. And you basically can just switch them on and then they play. Voila. So yeah, I told her about what was my idea, that I wanted to work with gestures, like a set of simple gestures, a set of simple sounds, maybe sound gestures you could say as well, and then maybe with my voice as well. And then she said she was really interested because they know the area quite well, and since they're architects and urban planners, they are very aware of what is happening where, and also sound-wise and visually and architecturally, and yeah. So she said, yeah, why don't we have two performers and maybe do something simultaneously on both sides of the border, or like of the buffer zone. And I love this idea to like, so maybe the idea could be to walk along, to line the border, you know, or also to walk towards the border and maybe put the loudspeakers down somewhere, or I don't know. So maybe, hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to meet a Turkish Cypriot person who is very active in his community in Nicosia. He's working with, I think, hip hop and young people, and So hopefully this meeting can happen, and maybe he knows other artists who can perform with me or develop. And I'm quite happy, because I think that is really one of my ideas, to, you know, like to go to a country and or to a place and collaborate. To be site specific does not only mean to be site specific in terms of architecture, space, sound, but also actually to engage with people who live there and who might have a different view and who are interested in exchanging this view. So this actually brings me to another thing I was thinking about, this blog. In a way, this blog is very site specific. Though the site might not be physical only, of course it's physical, because I'm here, you are there, and we are somehow like exchanging. Now it's maybe one way because I'm telling you something, but you might like go get back to me and so on. So the locus, like the place, is somehow virtual, but is still site specific because we are exchanging something. Do you know what I mean? Like, because site specificity is always in exchange with someone. So a site is not only a physical space in this case, but it can be any area or any plateau where subjects meet, basically, you know. So this would go back, of course, to what I was talking before about which are the three pillars of my let's say my three pillars of philosophy, in a way, like the doing, thinking, and making. That they are not, all of them are not physical, nor virtual, nor utopian, but the three of them are all of it, basically, or can be all of it. Yeah, voila, that's a lot. Yeah, and then I was thinking, you know, because of course when I talk to people about my performance, they say, oh yeah, I know this artist has done that and that and that. So I was thinking about, you know, like, what can I do with my performance? What is the aim really? Does it change politics? Does it change people's minds? Or is it just a statement? Or is it, what is it really? And I think maybe it can actually maybe can tickle, you know, like tickle politics and the current reality of people as well. And then maybe by adding and more people do it, maybe something can change in a way. So yeah, like my topic now for here, but it can maybe model, my performance can maybe model like alternative views to political views, you know, and create situations where something can happen that usually doesn't happen in this place or in, yeah. And this, of course, then this is my hope that this goes further, that this is not only happening here, of course now it's for here, but maybe this creates like somehow models which can be applied to other situations, to other countries, or to other systems. Also, like this by kind of like revealing structures or systems, that maybe this is then maybe it's possible to take it to other situations and places. Yes, I always think today I will do a short blog, but then it turns out that I'm just talking a lot. Anyway, thank you for being there and here or together with me. Bye, good night.